So this is a floricane that was cut off last year as a primocane, and this is the lateral, and that is the berry.
Hello. We're here today looking at some customers' blackberries. They are a floricane variety where they don't produce fruit until they're on their second year. So we want them to grow up and get pruned so that they put on these laterals, because that's where the fruit comes from. Here, where these laterals are, that's where your fruit is produced, coming out of here. And they won't produce feeding fruit until your second year, so you need to let them grow up the first year and then keep them through the winter, and then the second year is when they're going to actually produce fruit. So the floricane that's coming up now, which would be these little ones here, potentially, if that was like your growth for, if these were second year stuff, then these would be your floricanes growing up, and you'd want to keep these and let them grow up, and they would produce fruit next year.
So this is a floricane that was cut off last year as a primocane, and this is the lateral, and that is the berry.
The floricane is your second year growth, and the primocane is your first year growth. The height that you want them, then they'll start bushing out, and as they bush out, you want to wait until they get laterals that are maybe a foot or so, maybe a little less.
Okay.
And then prune those so that they stop, and then they'll produce more laterals that way, and then it'll make it so it produces more fruit. So then in certain varieties, you can get a primocane producing fruit, and in those varieties are the ones that you mow down every single year. So these are a good example of primocane raspberries. So after every year they grow up and they produce fruit, and after they produce fruit, you can cut them down to the ground, and next year when they grow up, they'll produce fruit. So you don't have to wait for 2 years for the floricane on these raspberries for them to produce.